Hi, this is Lou from Foothills Properties in Tucson. Today's Saturday and I was out on property doing marketing videos for landlords, and we'll talk about those later, the reason for them and why we do them. But while I was out there, I started thinking about an incident that happened this week, and I thought I ought to share it with you. We have a home where the lease is up the end of June, and the tenant is required to give notice prior to the beginning of the last month. And in fact, the landlord is held to the same 30-day standards under Arizona law. Either party must give notice to vacate at least 30 days prior to the end of the lease. Just because the lease ends doesn't mean the occupancy ends. The tenant could hold over, and that creates another issue, or a tenant could slip and go to a month, and if the landlord's okay with that, then that's fine. We don't like month-to-months for many reasons, mainly lack of control, but in this case, the lease ends at the end of June. The notice was due the end of May. We didn't get notice from the tenant until the end of the first week, the beginning of the second week of the month, that they'd like to stay for an extra month or two while they look for a home, because they thought they could stay for a month, find the home, they'd be out in a month, 6 weeks. Well, the problem is Tucson families move after school is out in the spring and before it starts in the summer. And you say, why would they do that in 100-degree heat or 110-degree heat? Because that's when mom wants to move the kids. And so that sets the pattern for a large part of our market. And it's true in other markets. In Cleveland, people don't want to move in January, February, because it's snowy and slushy out there. So every market has this. Well, the landlord said, no, I know the market, and I will need to have my house rented before school starts in the middle of August. So we had to go back and explain to the tenant that they had to be out, and they have given us notice that they're leaving. But the landlord wanted to know why, if the lease ends the end of June, and it says we Foothills and the landlord don't want month to month, the tenant wouldn't automatically move. Well, the reality is tenants don't automatically move. Some of them want to stay for a year or two, and in which case we write an extension. Or in some cases they go to month for a month or two or three, and in some cases we allow it. Usually we like to write an extension for a month or two or three, whatever it is. So it's really important to understand that though the lease may be up, there's not an automatic move requirement unless one party gives notice. In this case, the tenant's moving, and the landlord now understands, but I'd like everybody else out there to understand that just because your lease is up at the end of a certain month doesn't mean the tenant will automatically move. So if you need to take possession to sell the house, or if you need to take possession because you want to move your child into the house, or you want to move into the house, townhouse, or condo, then you need to instruct your manager, I need to give the tenant notice to move as of a certain date. And if you're a tenant and you want to be out, you need to give notice as well that I will vacate. Because if you don't give that 30-day notice as a tenant, you can be held for another month. In this case, it all worked out great, which is wonderful for all parties. We're going to do the inspection right on time, they're going to surrender on time, and we'll get that house re-rented just as it should be. So I hope this explains the situation. If you have any questions, you're welcome to call me at the Foothills office, 520-299-2100. I'm happy to chat with anybody about this or any subject relating to property management. And as always, I wish you have a great Tucson day. Thank you for watching.